You know what this is, my friend?
This is my favorite part of the hockey show. This is the police blotter.
That's right. Let's get right into things. Former Tampa Bay Buccaneers first-round pick Keith McCants was arrested last week and charged with possession of cocaine, police down in Florida said. The St. Petersburg Times reported that McCants was stopped by police as he drove out of a strip club parking lot just after midnight one night last week. Police told the paper they stopped McCants because he failed to stop while leaving on a private road. When they stopped him, they saw a crack pipe in the middle console.
He must have been holding it for somebody.
Well, this gets better. Police then searched the car and found one piece of crack in the purse of a female passenger in the car. And her name is Christina Shamika Campbell. No relation to Greg Campbell. We verified that.
Clarence.
Nope. She was arrested and the police then seized McCants' vehicle. He was the number 4 pick out of Alabama, but was really one of the biggest busts in the history of the league. This was 20 years ago. And again, I don't know about Shamika Campbell's stats, but you just don't hear about the fourth-line center of the Bruins, Gregory Campbell, getting arrested with crack pipes, do you?
No, not at all.
Western Canada. An Edmonton Eskimos football player is accused of assaulting his girlfriend and attacking another man, and he's not getting out on bail. Adam Braidwood isn't due back in court until next month, and it wasn't clear what impact the bail decision would have on his career as a defensive tackle with the Eskimos. This guy was in court with 2 security guards on his sides, his legs shackled and in a blue prison jumpsuit.
Nice.
And things started going bad for him last month when he attacked someone in a parking lot and stuffed him into the trunk of a car. Now, you kids out there, if you're going to attack somebody, don't put him into a trunk of a car. You're going to get caught. The police later found this guy badly beaten and cut. Braidwood is from British Columbia, and he was charged with aggravated assault and forcible confinement. But wait, there's more. He was granted bail on those 2 charges, but then police had to get called to his Edmonton home earlier in the month to deal with an alleged domestic assault, and he was then arrested peacefully and charged with 10 offenses, including assault, uttering death threats, and weapons violations involving guns. I just want to say this. You don't hear about the Edmonton Oilers involved with such shenanigans, do you?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Syracuse, New York. Freshman linebacker Malcolm Cater is off the team after being charged in connection with 3 burglaries that occurred on campus. He's 19. He's from Riverhead, New York. He's charged with 3 counts of burglary and 1 count of grand larceny, all felonies, and 2 counts of, I've never heard of this, petite larceny. I don't know what that means. P-E-T-I-T. It's French for petite.
Small.
Pettit, not like Andy Pettit?
No.
Okay. He was charged in connection with 2 break-ins and a burglary, and all the stuff was found in his apartment. He played 12 games for the Orange on special teams, and just another bad mistake. Another kid. You don't hear about anyone in the Syracuse Crunch, the AHL team, doing that, do you?
No, no.
Another football player, Kentucky quarterback Mike Hartline, has been suspended for the BBVA Compass Bowl following his arrest on charges of public intoxication and disorderly conduct. Now, Coach Joker Phillips said Saturday the decision to suspend Hartline was difficult, but the expectations for the program are clear. An attorney for Hartline entered a not guilty plea on Friday, hours after the player and cheerleader, Ashley Carnes, who was with Hartline, were arrested following a dispute with another woman earlier in the day.
The plot thickens.
Folks, can you expect anything less from a player who plays for a coach whose name is Joker?
No, I wouldn't. No. No.
The NBA, Sacramento Kings assistant coach Mario Eli was arrested last week on suspicion of drunken driving. The California Highway Patrol said Eli was taken into custody after an officer pulled him over for a broken taillight, and that a breathalyzer showed he had something well above the blood alcohol level. He was booked and apologized in a statement by the team, which said his alcohol level was slightly over the limit. This is a guy who played 11 seasons in the NBA, winning 2 titles with Houston in '94 and '95. Again, as I said, he's now with the Sacramento Kings. All I've got to say is this. When Barry Melrose was coaching the Los Angeles Kings, he wasn't running around getting caught for drunk driving, was he?
No, he was taking care of Wayne Gretzky and the rest of them.
That's right.
And just a bit over the legal limit. Is that just like just a little bit high and outside?
Just a bit outside. Iowa City. What state is that in?
My first pick would be Iowa.
That's right. Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz says Darrell Johnson-Koulianos has been suspended from all team activities following the wide receiver's arrest on drug charges. Johnson-Koulianos was released last week after posting $8,000 bail. and he was grabbed on 4 counts of possession of controlled substances, keeping a drug house, and 2 counts of unlawful possession of a prescription drug. The coach says he is highly disappointed to learn of the charges, and this again is in Iowa. You never hear of kids in the Central Collegiate Hockey Association keeping drug houses, do you?
No, and Andrew Ferentz wouldn't do anything like that.
No, he wouldn't. Not at all.
Relation, I would imagine?
No, spelled differently.
All right.
From New Orleans, Saints defensive end Will Smith hasn't been acting like a Saint, that's for sure. He was arrested Saturday in Louisiana after he was accused of grabbing his wife's hair and pulling her down the street. Police said Smith and his wife had gotten into an argument just after 2 a.m. when leaving a nightclub. Police officers on patrol saw the argument escalate and then saw Smith grab the woman's hair. The media director for the Saints said the team's security staff is looking into the matter.
I'm sure they are.
The woman's injuries are allegedly minor. Smith has been charged with domestic abuse and simple battery. He was released on a $1,000 bond, according to the Sheriff's Department, and that's Will Smith. I don't recall Rick Smith or Dallas Smith dragging their wives by the hair down Causeway Street when they played here, do you?
Billy Smith on the island.
No, not at all. We're going to go north to Maine. UMaine football player Jerron McMillian, has been placed on, I love this, deferred suspension by UMaine Dean of Students for violations of the UMaine Student Code of Conduct. He was an All-Colonial Athletic Association safety this fall for the, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
For the Black Bears, and he was penalized after he was arrested earlier this month after a scuffle with Orono police outside of the Curva Ultra Lounge. I'll let you figure out what type of place that is. He's from New Jersey. He was charged with disorderly conduct, assault, and failure to submit to arrest as a result of the incident. And I got to tell you this, you know, he resisted arrest. He was pushing the cops around. You never heard of Tim Whitehead's players causing this kind of trouble, nor did you hear of Sean Walsh's boys getting into this kind of trouble, especially outside of clubs of such ill repute.
A gentleman's club, I'm sure.
And lastly, and I don't have, you all right? We have cough buttons for this stuff. Okay, good. Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker Geno Haynes was shot with a stun gun before being arrested early this morning after a disturbance at a nightclub, the Tampa Tribune has reported. The 23-year-old was shocked with the gun for refusing police orders after he was ejected from the Blue Martini Club in Tampa. A police report described Hayes as loud and verbally abusive while threatening staff and officers when he was angry that an acquaintance was refused entry to the club. Hayes was himself then turned away, but before attempting to return to the club to get a credit card he said he left behind, the staff led his friend into the club to get the card. And according to the report, Hayes was very angry. Police had warned he would be shocked unless he cooperated, but he persisted and was fired at with the stun gun. His clothing proved to be too thick to be affected by the shock. And the cops, I love this, they had to tackle the 6'3", 225-pound linebacker. So he was charged with disorderly conduct and trespassing. It's not the first time he's been shot with a stun gun. At the University of Florida State in 2007, he was also stunned. And again, it goes back to Barry Melrose. You never heard of any of his players with the Tampa Bay Lightning getting stunned and shot with stun guns and everything while he was there. So it's just very amazing how hockey players never get in trouble.
We're not done with the police report yet. I happen to have a report.
Okay.
Pro football. Jail time for Stubblefield. Federal judge has sentenced the former San Francisco 49ers star Dana Stubblefield to 90 days in jail for stealing his former girlfriend's mail. Stubblehead, 40, was placed on probation last year after pleading guilty to lying to investigators about his steroid use during his playing days. He admitted submitting a change of address form. In the postal business, we call that a 0908. So that his former girlfriend's mail, including her unemployment checks, would be delivered to his residence. 90 days falsifying a change of address. Well deserved.
You must be very happy.